so up next I have the true value of connecting NFTs. I have Caitlin Connors, if you want to come up. Caitlin Connors is our moderator for this one. All right. And Zach Bruch, if you could come up. Zach Bruch. I want to say Ricky Martin, but it's Rikin Mantri. And then Andrea Bonaceto. All right, awesome, you guys. Give it up for our panel, the true value of connecting NFTs.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
So I was hoping you guys could give some background about how you got into NFTs. Maybe starting with anyone who would like to go first? Go last? Okay, Andrea, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hello? Yes, it works. Perfect. So how did I get into NFTs? I've been interested in art since forever. I was doing all sorts of things, drawing, writing. I'm based in London. I even have a basking license in London where I used to go to play in the street in London. So when the NFT trend came in 2020, it was like, there is no way I'm not involved with that. I've been investing in the blockchain space for quite some time. And so I started really very openly sharing what I was doing and trying, to find a way to do interesting initiatives. And I got in touch with, in a phase where there wasn't really a lot of interest yet in the NFT space. I pretty much connected with everyone in the space. And then I did NFT release as an artist on the Nifty Gateway in March. And then from there, I kept doing it. So I started as a creator, and then I started also collecting some of the NFTs.
Great.
Yeah, so for me, it was 2017, seeing CryptoKitties and kind of the phenomenon that it was, and understanding that this technology was here to stay. It's one of those ideas where the fact of content and technology and how you use content in the NFT space. And so one of the things that I consider NFTs is actually new fan technology. That's kind of what we think about in terms of NFTs. And how do we bridge digital connections between fans and the content that they know and love. And so CryptoKitties was like the first kind of avenue into that. And we've seen different waves and life forms. And last August, my co-founder and I were thinking about, where does this technology go? What does it actually enable? And so I come from the entertainment industry, and one of the things that we think about a lot is storytelling. And so how do NFTs fit into that storytelling paradigm?
So my journey started as an extension to my crypto journey. I got involved in crypto about 10 years ago, but 5 years ago or 6 years ago professionally, started at Kraken, which is today one of the largest crypto exchanges. I helped build their trading desk. That was my real deep adventure into crypto markets and understanding them intimately. And then, of course, we saw CryptoKitties, but I was not a participant in it. You were a little earlier than I, but definitely was aware of NFTs. And it was about 2 years ago where it started hitting me that NFTs could serve as this really large gateway for a normal person or an average consumer or someone that doesn't really understand finance to ultimately get into crypto. So NFTs would be this gateway for them to access this incredible crypto world. And then I began experimenting with it. So about a year ago, I brought together one of my friends, a performing artist by the name of 2 Feet, with an NFT artist called Ferocious. This was in February of 2021, and we were some of the first people to sell on Nifty Gateway. We did about $1 million in 5 minutes. It was super exciting. And then I took a step back and thought, there has to be a better way to bring real serious brands, large Hollywood studios, entertainment industry, large fan groups into this ecosystem. So I got together with my co-founder, Trevor George, who comes from the licensing world and had built the digital storefronts for some of this large IP. And then myself, coming from the crypto background, I was at Kraken. And then after that, DRW Cumberland, where we had the largest crypto desk, and got together a bunch of our friends. Today, we're 90 strong on the crypto and licensing and brand side, and we're bringing some of the largest IP in to extend fan narrative and bring as many people into this ultimately crypto world as possible. So really using NFTs as the gateway. But yeah, for me, it's been a long journey from crypto to NFTs, and now hopefully that will lead back into a greater crypto world.
Awesome. In general, how do you guys feel that NFTs build and add value for community? Or why is community so important in the NFT world?
Well, I think NFTs are made for communities. I think the reason why they are so popular is because of also, the strong community element. So basically, in a society like pre-NFTs, there are like all these private clubs and stuff where you can go, you have exclusive access to stuff, and people, they behave this way. They like sometimes to have some groups with people sharing, their own interests and stuff, and then they stick together. Now you have that online, which is massive because it's way more scalable. There are no geographical boundaries. You can live wherever you want. And if you are early enough also in a certain community, it's also very accessible because, take CryptoPunks, for instance. They were given for free. It's true that now if you want to buy a CryptoPunk, you need to spend a fortune. But at the inception, no. So it's basically rewarding people that are very switched on and they follow, the right trends and they participate. And as you progress, the ticket to enter that community increase, which I think is fine. So yeah, I'm very excited about how, in the future also communities of NFTs can evolve into DAOs. I think this is a big trend, and I'm very bullish on DAOs and how they can, organize society as a whole. So I think NFTs, now is just scratching the surface of, art and, gaming and everything, but pretty much everything that is here can be an NFT in a metaverse. The metaverse is a massive community, and the world is changing in a way that, very quickly, and we cannot even, imagine, I think, how. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of the things we think a lot about is that notion of community and what it means to belong to something. And so NFTs is, if you have the collector's gene with you, NFTs is just that natural extension of the digital world. And now that you have these digital connections, what is that community that of other people that also have those NFTs? And so, people call it a digital country club, or they call about, like VIP experiences. But if people aggregate in the physical world around a certain idea or topic or thought, the same in the digital world exists, and NFTs are actually that ability to kind of enable that.
Yeah.
I sort of see NFTs as this next wave of community. And if you look back historically on the history of the internet, it started with internet bulletin boards, right? That's where communities gathered. And then from there, you had AOL chat rooms, and then Reddit, which was indexing a ton of different communities where you can actually get together for the first time and search a community and hop in. And now Discord, where you can also find different types of communities and actually communicate, have voice conversations with people from anywhere in the world that have like-minded interests or ideas or thoughts, or even people that are just coming to learn about something. And then as you think about NFTs, it's a greater extension of this. Someone has raised their hand and said, hey, I'm the largest fan in the world of Hello Kitty or SpongeBob or Star Trek or whatever it is. And they can get together, rally around that concept, rally around that idea, find like-minded people. And then to Rikin's point, you're able to extend this fan narrative and storytelling where you could be a movie studio or you can be a brand that wants to engage with your fans and then really continue the conversation with them via these NFTs. So all of a sudden you have NFTs that are, yes, this exciting thing, but it's also an incredibly powerful tool to engage community and also enrich the storytelling. So it's really special, and it's amazing seeing how much it's flourished this past year, and what's to come is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. What do you guys see for the future of NFTs, this vast abyss world?
Yeah, Andrea touched on it a little bit in terms of this notion of a metaverse and having that seamless integration between physical and digital. NFTs is that passport into that world, and you can even abstract from that in terms of what it means for value and ownership, and how do you think about the things that you own in the digital space, and how are they meaning to you in the physical space with obviously if you convert into USDC or fiat, but then what value does it bring to you in the metaverse or into these digital worlds? And so one of the things that at Curio what we think about is getting rewarded for your fan engagement, and these play to earn models and the combination of a DAO. So you take these two ideas and the NFT kind of fits nicely into that puzzle.
I think that the future of NFTs is that we won't be talking anymore about NFTs. because everything will be an NFT, and you won't be able to, you won't be necessary. It's just obvious, think about when Generation Z now becomes, I don't know, 90 years old, 80 years old, and they will be the boomers of the situation, people that they cannot even think about a world where you don't buy, like, I don't know, a skin of Fortnite online, and now you can do it, as an NFT, it's portable, you can move it wherever you want. So it's something where NFTs will be embedded pretty much into everything, and will be just, protocol, that is basically used to trade stuff online. And I think people will stop really talking about that because it will be so embedded into our society.
So I agree with that, but I also think there's two answers for me. There's like a more short-term future than like a really long-term future.
Yeah, let's
but I
hear
think
the
in the,
long-term.
I'll give both. In the short-term future, I think that a consumer is going to demand their digital products are NFTs to really show that they have ownership of these assets. It's going to be the same way how today we care about data privacy, and now there are certain rules and regulations around that. I also feel that consumers are going to say, hey, these digital assets that we buy, they need to be NFTs. But my long-term view on what NFTs are, or what they can be, is ultimately teleportation. So that's really where I feel it's going, because all of a sudden, you can be anywhere. You can be in this metaverse. You can do anything. We can be together in LA, no matter where we are, via NFTs, via the metaverse. We could be in a fictional place, like we can be in Bikini Bottom together. And as more capital comes into the space and these experiences become more immersive, all of a sudden, the whole world around us will change. And yes, the physical and digital world will blend, but also these new possibilities will begin to exist. So that's like my long-term vision of what I think NFTs are. We're describing teleportation, but we don't realize that we are, because we've envisioned it some other way historically. But I think that's what this will ultimately lead to.
We're building the metaverses of the simulation that we're about to live in.
I don't know, something like that.
Wow, yeah. And then some traditional investors have said to me, well, but it uses so much energy, these NFTs. Minting an NFT uses so much energy, it's so stupid. What do you say to these people? Or what do you say to that statement?
Which is a problem of the consensus mechanism on top of which the NFTs are minted, not about NFTs themselves. There are a lot of misconception on this point. So if you mint them on an Ethereum network pre-proof of stake, of course, it's going to consume a lot of energy, because Ethereum consumes a lot of energy with that consensus mechanism. That's why Ethereum is now migrating to proof of stake. Let's see, if they do it and when. I'm very close to this topic because I'm also launching today, actually, at Faena. By the way, if you are at Faena at 6 p.m. today, you can come by. Everyone is invited. I started this marketplace together with Pablo Rodriguez Freire and Jimena Caminos on Algorand, where we basically sell, high-end, high-profile NFTs on the traditional world and top artists from the NFT space. But going back to your point, is on Algorand, which is proof of stake, a platform, pretty much carbon neutral, and there you don't consume any energy there, minting NFTs pretty much. The question, of course, is about portability of that NFT. You mint it on Algorand, you want to move it around, yes. Bridges are getting built, and you will be able to move things around. So what I think will happen for NFTs is a multi-chain ecosystem with interoperability. You decide wherever you want to mint. You want to mint on Ethereum, hopefully, with proof of stake or somewhere else, do it. But then you can just move things around, which is, democratic and something that I support. So the argument about NFTs are bad for the environment is something very misused and relatively short term, because I think will be addressed by Ethereum quite soon.
Cool. And then for people who haven't yet started collecting NFTs, what advice do you give them for getting into the space and diving in?
Buy what you love. That's where I would start. Because if you're buying something that you love, you don't have to think about a market. Is this going to go up? Is this going to go down? You can really just dive in, learn about it, find a wallet or go onto a service that doesn't require you to have that, so you can just learn. But I would just say buy an NFT, and that's
Where?
it.
For someone who doesn't
Anywhere.
know where to go.
Anywhere. Literally anywhere.
OpenSea or anywhere?
OpenSea, Nifty Gateway, Curio. We're launching in a couple weeks at RECUR, on Andrea's new platform. Really anywhere, because at the end of the day, what we are experiencing right now is just the start, and I feel like NFTs are going to be a big part of our lives going forward. And like Andrea also said, we won't even say NFTs. I mean, that's how ubiquitous it's going to be. So I think even just now, it's just about exploring, experimenting, buying what you love or collecting. But over time, NFTs will be other things. It won't just be art. It won't, it'll be all sorts of different types of things. So I think just learn and buy anywhere and explore.
Great. And do you guys want to give a little synopsis on your 3 different platforms? Because they all are pretty interesting.
Sure, I can start. We're Curio NFT. We're an NFT marketplace for the largest brands in entertainment. We think about storytelling in 2 ways. We work with Hollywood studios, music companies, artists direct, and then on the fan side, how do we think about fandom and fan engagement? And so connecting those 2 dots are kind of the big thing that we're trying to solve. One recent partnership we did was with Dick Wolf Productions. They're famous for creating a Law and Order, and so we're using NFTs as a storytelling vehicle. And by that I mean we're creating a murder mystery cold case where the NFTs are actually clues as part of solving that case, and you'll be rewarded for kind of going through that kind of gaming experience. And so we're just at the cusp of kind of what the Wolf Society or what that community is going to look like. But it's really interesting to see how brands, entertainment IP, original IP that's coming from the NFT world, all the JPEGs that are out there, and then also on the fan engagement, what we can actually do to build utility into those things.
Yeah, that's really cool. You can see all the added value for the entertainment brands and their communities.
So about what I'm doing, the platform is called Aorist, and we like to call it a cultural institution, meaning that the aim is to build a bridge between the traditional art world and the NFT space and get the best of both worlds. That's why on top of that thought leadership element within the NFT space, and this is also what we're trying to do now with the auctions that we are having actually tonight from some very major NFT artists such as Refika Nadal, Andres Reisingers, Carlos Betancourt, and a few others, is about really bringing the best of the best, very profound concepts on a blockchain that is green, is efficient, and that's how we want to operate in the long term. We were in stealth, let's say, for a few months, but for instance, we did a few activities such as the minting during the Christie sale of Andres Reisinger for Arcadia. So it was done on Aorist, on Algorand, and now is the big, unveil at Faena at 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is open to everyone, so you guys can come. We put together, if you see it, it's crazy. It's like a massive screen on the beach, like into the sand pretty much, with the Refix works, and at night is really, impressive. And then from 8 p.m. onwards, we'll go inside for dinner. It'll be like a live bidding on all the auctions.
Cool.
Awesome, you guys. Let's quick response, and let's open it up for questions. Sorry, I'm over here.
Yeah, questions. But maybe you want to
Quick response, and then we'll open up for questions.
Go for it. How does your platform work?
I'll give a little quick thing about my platform. So my company is called RECUR. We build white label NFT experiences and solutions for some of the world's largest IP. We've been public about our partnership with Viacom CBS. So that's building out experiences for things like SpongeBob and Star Trek and The Godfather and a whole slew of other names. We've been public about our relationship with Sanrio and Hello Kitty, so bringing Hello Kitty into the NFT world. We also have a property called NFTU, which will house every college in America, college football, basketball, soccer, hockey, you name it, a collaborative NFT experience for them as well. We take a chain agnostic approach, meaning we're not, only choosing to work on one chain. We've also built out pretty amazing technology to do swapping, so we can mint today on something like, say, like Ethereum, and then swap that over to Solana and swap to another chain, and so on. We were also the team that worked on something called EIP 2981, which was creating the royalty standard across of Ethereum, so that even if an asset leaves our platform, a recurring royalty can still go back to the original creator or artist, IP, brand, musician, whoever. That was open source, so now many artists and musicians are using that. But at its core, we're creating these experiences for the largest Hollywood studios, brands, and leagues. So that's what we're doing, and I guess
Very
to
cool.
questions?
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions?
We got time for one question. Raise your hand up
One
high.
good question. looks like you guys.
That
answered
means,
everything.
oh, we'll kick it back. Oh, wait, I see, yeah. This is kind of far. So do you want to ask a question? Wait, hold on, I'm almost there. If only I could teleport like if I was in the metaverse.
How do you guys see NFTs helping people with like crowdsourcing projects and doing that in a way that is both decentralized but also has like a leadership team component to it that's driving towards a unified vision?
Yeah, I mean, in many ways. I think, first of all, you can have NFT projects, even from a collectible or creative standpoint, around certain causes. For instance, I'll give you an example, like on Algorand, I supported a lot of project called Algoanas that was really around planting trees, and they planted like more than 50,000 trees, which is, yeah, very cool project. And then I touched on that before, is also through DAOs. You know, you can come together for a cause that you feel about with other people that feel about a certain cause, and then, you know, you all decide together. And there, you know, as I said, NFTs are an element for making that community stick together. So that's very, as I said, like interesting because it goes beyond the geographical boundaries that are, first of all, arbitrary boundaries, and second of all, it's completely random. You know, you could have been born anywhere, right? So it's very unfair that you are limited by basically where you're based. So any innovation that basically reduce that gap, I think is welcome.
Yeah, I would say right now the NFTs, a lot of them look like digital collectibles, but you know, financing projects, financing, you know, planting trees, kind of that common thread is a natural vehicle for what a DAO could look like in terms of governance structure, in terms of sharing and value as you invest in projects. And so, you know, before, if you, as I mentioned before, if you have the collector's gene and you collect baseball trading cards, for example, a physical thing, you didn't have the ability to actually get rewarded for, you know, for actually collecting. But in a digital connection, you have that ability to not only finance something, but then also as it rises in value, you as the community actually get to get rewarded for that.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Give it up, you guys.